Thank you for visiting the Coinceras channel again. In a video clip that was released by Good Morning Crypto, Brad Garlinghouse discusses his thoughts on the general market and probable black swans. So, Brad stresses the significance of this asset class's resilience in every cycle, which bodes well for the future, but he also talks about possible black swans. A black swan is an unexpected and unanticipated event. Problems with Tether or USDT in the future would not be unexpected. This is a legitimate worry that has been discussed for a long time. The first rule of crypto is to do anything you can. Only time will tell if this is really true. Thus, everything is theoretically feasible, the question is what is actually likely. The quantity of stable currencies tends to rise in tandem with bullish cycles, as I demonstrated in a previous video. Therefore, during bullish cycles, it is common to observe an increase in the supply of various assets or the minting of Tether USD. There have been long-standing and very legitimate concerns about Tether, which is one of the biggest assets in the space by market cap, just after Bitcoin and Ethereum. Presently, the market capitalization exceeds 110 billion. Along with that massive market cap, I also take into account the fact that the stablecoin market is projected to surpass the whole crypto asset class in size in the next 4 years, reaching an anticipated high of 3 trillion. I remember that, and it's not like I have a lot of Tether on hand. The US dollar is my preferred trading currency because it eliminates counterparty risk, but I will use USDT if necessary. If it makes sense for actual liquidity in those pairs on set exchange, I'll use the US dollar. A lawsuit against a stablecoin, like Tether USD, could have a devastating effect on the crypto asset class as a whole, but in the long run, I see a stablecoin market worth trillions of dollars, which could include Tether USDC and any future stablecoins. The most perplexing aspect is that, whenever I use my trading bots, I always aim to select US dollar pairs for US-based exchanges. I believed I was being cautious by trading directly with US dollars instead of Tether, but I still got screwed during the Binance US lawsuits, when they listed all the USD trading pairs. Even if everything is great now, I still don't want to take the long-term danger of using Tether because it would have been better for me. Therefore, I am not attempting to cover the costs of this. Only time will reveal the outcome of this reasonable worry. Last but not least, my viewpoint is the only one that matters here. In this domain, I perceive the SEC as the actual adversary. Investors are still vulnerable after 3 Luna Celsius. Even though FTX has been meeting privately with Sam Bankman-Fried, one of the longest-running US-based exchanges, they are still targeting Coinbase. Ripple is their target. All these groups are being pursued. We ordinary retail investors don't get the impression that they're making an effort to safeguard us. Since Gary Gensler is merely another pawn who once served at Goldman Sachs to safeguard the interests of his friends at Vanguard and elsewhere, they are focusing on the major players who can pay the biggest checks. Well, I'm aware that there are other politicians and decent people in office who are working to have Web 3.0 regulated properly, but Gary isn't one of them. Considering this, I was wondering whether, as in previous cycles, the entire market cap of all cryptocurrencies is still above the wick of the 21-week exponential moving average EMA. The institutional crypto custody market is projected to reach 10 trillion by 2030, with a value of 2.2 trillion, according to Ripple and Medical. Just heard that Fireblock is launching a global network of licensed digital asset custodians as part of their partner program. This is a first of its type, and it's all because to the Fireblock network. An initial group of licensed custodians from the US, UAE, UK, Singapore, Thailand, and Australia will launch the Custodian Partner Program this quarter. Customers will have the ability to securely connect to these providers while seamlessly managing their digital asset operations on the Firebox platform. The decision is made in response to the increasing need for qualified custodians in the digital asset space, as asset managers, RPAs, and other key players in the financial market gain exposure to tokenization, ETFs, allocation, and advisory services. BitGo is one such company that has recently joined the Dairies Governing Council. It has also come to light that Fireblocks will be launching a limited-purpose trust business regulated by the New York Department of Financial Services. Our clients will have access to cold storage custody solutions provided by this trust organization. As you can see, there is a massive list of various coins, protocols, and exchanges that should be keeping an eye on Fireblocks. Some of the necessary infrastructure looks like this: tokenization payments, compliance web, 3 experiences staking, and access to thousands of decentralized finance applications are shown on the left side of the screen. Treasury management is also available. Additionally, we are aware that Peak is now live and listed on the coin list. I have a few crests, but I can't buy any because I'm a US resident. This is among the most anticipated DePIN projects ever, thus I should be receiving some Peak during the airdrop. With the support of several major organizations, such as Borderless and the enormous DWF Labs, we were able to raise 15 million at the height. Therefore, I will be watching the launch price behavior of Peaks with attention. With any luck, it's not a pricing action similar to D.Fi. Even while we know that many venture capitalists are behind this, I would prefer that it not enter a massive distribution phase. But there are a lot of projects coming out of the Peak ecosystem, and I'm really interested in the long term. Here on Peak Network, we can see 25 projects that are going to change the world. These projects cover topics like security, smart home ownership, decentralizing power and mobility, wearable health data, decentralized charging telecoms, real-time communication, energy networks, agriculture, marketplaces, and more. Thus, I want to devote a great deal of time and energy to the topic of Peak in the years to come. Lots of projects are coming together, and one of them is going to be something I monitor in the long run. This gives us a glimpse of their coin list details. You can peruse their most recent blog posts on peak.network if you're curious. This is dated May 9th, the same day as the token launch. We can observe the fixed token price in the completely diluted market cap or network value at 333 million, and we can see that KYC is needed on the currency list. The start date is May 9th, and it runs until May 16th. So, I've given you a brief overview of Peak previously. This is a fascinating undertaking. Let me tell you about this venture. We can see that it has the support of some intriguing organizations, and that use cases are at the core of Web3. The new project may be found at peak.network. To learn more, go to the Learn page, then either the ecosystem or the use cases. Here we can view all of these apps, check out their websites, and get a feel for what they're actually creating. Under Enterprises, we may observe their Airbus activities. Among our inventory is an Audi. There are still a lot of scams in this field, so I've been looking at several projects, some of which contain tokens. Just be extra careful. This is a fantastic application, and I did notice the Natixis organization. In essence, the Internet of Cameras is real-time stream mapping, and I received an email from Natick warning that imposters are circulating with fake links. To avoid being a victim, you should only utilize links that originate from their official website. I am thus monitoring the Crest network, also known as the Canary network, as Pete approaches launch. My plan is to eat a lot of snacks if the value of this asset drops. I am simply waiting to see how peak debuts before making any major decisions, but I do have a tiny position today. I wish it the best of luck. Even though we're always on the lookout for new initiatives and I see that market participants are bored, the one thing that Bitcoin needs to make its first big move with all-time highs currently hovering around 60,000 or 50,000 is a flood of liquidity and volume. Until we witness that massive upswing, I am far more optimistic that almost all assets will rise. I am currently waiting for Bitcoin to complete its current drop before I can anticipate the next upward trend and see altcoins rise again. The video ends there. As always, I'd appreciate it if you could subscribe and leave a comment with your opinions. Goodbye for now.